And we are live. Modeling School. Modeling School. I am the Fat Mantis, now in HD, and I'm here with my man
Steve, also in HD. How goes it, everyone?
I'm living the dream. It has been a long week. It has been a long week. Yo, I don't mean to side with these TikTok girls who are like young and rich and are like, they cry. People put on blast because they're like, I have to work a day job. Why didn't anybody tell me? But I really vibe with these chicks.
How are you vibing with them? In what way? What way?
Why do we have to work a day job?
Man, that is the truth, the absolute truth. There is a video of a young lady on Instagram and on TikTok in which she's basically crying and she's like, why do I gotta go to work? Just give me the money. Just give me the money.
You got that American privilege, That's why I love America, because we're so damn privileged.
Just give me the money.
We're taking showers and cash money over here.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Shout out to everyone joining us on X, Rumble, and Instagram as well. This is the Fat Mantis.
Now. The Fanboy Modeling School is breaching out. Eventually, we're going to be on apps you ain't never even heard of.
Yeah, I was trying to get us on Bigo Live. You know how that shit goes. Trying to connect that.
Let's do it, man. I want us to be like a terrible cancerous growth devouring the earth.
I mean, aren't we that already?
Yeah. I know my personality is. We've got a crazy show. Before we get into our actual topics, guys, remember to like the stream, share it with your buddies, and remember to throw us spoons or bits or dollars or tips. Tip your streamer.
Yes.
Love your neighbor.
Yes.
And let's get drunk.
Yes.
Hello, Dragon Lady. Hello, Team Mizzle. Hello.
What up, Dragon Tim?
Your mic is a little low, Mantis.
What up, Bex? What up, D? Everyone that's in here, all 10 of us.
What about now?
You sound great, buddy. You sound great.
Thank you.
Y'all take it easy on Mantis, man. He happy belated birthday, by the way, to the big guy over here, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. It's funny. I recently got a pretty bad kidney infection. I'm not going to go into how that happened, but so I was on antibiotics for my birthday. It was a little rough.
I when I called you, it sounded like it was not the ideal birthday at all.
Here's
man.
what it is: any birthday above ground, good stuff. I do play that grateful card as a Christian. However, I've seen better birthdays. Right. Usually with a drink in my hand. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Happy to be here as per usual. Obviously, stay over here with us. I appreciate all the support you guys give to Mic Check on Thursday nights. Probably going to do a little shake up for Mic Check on Thursday nights if we land on this Thursday. Otherwise than that, man, I'm great. They keep trying to steal my soul at work, but I keep telling them there's nothing left. I am a husk of a man. There's no there, bro.
They can only squeeze a stone so much and get so much blood and water out of it.
Exactly. Shout out to Pony. Welcome in, my brother.
Pony, welcome. Beck says I ain't tipping unless Mantis is showing something. Should I pick it on?
I mean, we're on Instagram, so be careful. Be careful.
That's all. a little tip of a nip. Oh yeah, there you go. Throw us some dollars. Happy birthday to Dragon Lady. Thank you. What a pony.
Are you streaming right now on Twitch?
I am on Twitch.
All right, so here's the deal, folks. If you are an Amazon Prime member, you can go over to Twitch right now and give Mantis a birthday Prime sub. The only way you can do it in Twitch's infinite wisdom is to be on a computer browser, and you can tip him for free, right? No Diddy, right? Or you can just straight up give him a sub, send him bits over there. Let's flood the big guy. In fact, let me just go over to Twitch and lead the charge here.
Oh,
and
you are the man. Thank you so much.
Let me just go over here, man. I don't know why my shit always instantly goes right to some crazy ASMR person.
Gee, I wonder why.
And let's see. Resubscribe.
I might get a little sentimental tonight, actually.
Boom! You got a Prime sub over on Twitch, brother.
Yo, thank you so much. Much love to you, Steve.
Yes, sir.
And shout out to everybody, all of our fans in any which way.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Still doing it. Still doing it. Oh, and for those inquiring, yes, your boy will be rejoining his homie, his sister over on Bex Rated. Had to take a little time off. Was doing multiple streams. Y'all know how I get down. My world constricted a little bit with the new job, but we'll be getting back on Bex Talk. Bex Rated, I'm sorry, with Bex, so we can get y'all late night. Bex got a beautiful little message from a fan the other day. She gets stalked quite often on Instagram by fans, and they were inquiring about the show. So I want y'all to know I'm still fully committed to Bex's vision over there. Obviously committed to the vision of Riz Radio doing our thing.
Riz Radio is about to blow up in a way we can't even predict. We're doing a few shakeups. A bunch of things are happening, but we're gonna have an amazing spring, so we can have an absolutely amazing summer. Summer is the time to listen to music and bug out, and we're gonna make sure. Basically, we're making the most cushiony home to hang out and listen to today's best music and your most zaniest, let's put it like that, DJs in the house.
And I'm committing to the success of Riz Radio by committing to creating another global pandemic.
Yo, have you heard about bird flu?
I've heard of bird flu.
Yo, I got relatives who are like all about this virus stuff. They say bird flu is going to be the next COVID. They think it's going to wipe everybody out. Let's hope people are into streaming before they go. Right? That was great for our streaming numbers, right?
Yeah, we got to get everybody back inside. Y'all had a couple of years outside doing your thing. I'm trying to get you back in your house. Get back in your house.
But I think it is time to get into our honorable mentions. You got any for us?
Absolutely. So I got an honorable mention, and I dare not try to snooze fest any non-combat sports loving people here. But since we do have a fair amount of female audience, in fact, according to our YouTube studio, our audience is 80% female. Two scantily clad dressed men got into an octagon type shape this weekend called combat karate, which is not a new sport, but a sport on the rise, right? And it was Luke Rockhold, former male model and UFC middleweight champion. Go look that up, Luke Rockhold. Ladies, go look up Luke Rockhold right now. He is classically what they would call a classically handsome guy, and a thug by the name of Joe Schilling got in there and they mixed it up, Mantis, and it was an absolute fight. Luke Rockhold looked like he was tiring out and was about to get handled, and then caught Joe Schilling with the combo cross of the year and knocked him out and finished him. And it was a good moment for 40-plus-year-old men around the world, showing that you can still be old and knock these youngins out, man. They're both
old people be knocking people out. Don't hate on us old guys.
Exactly. And then my other honorable mention I wanted to get into, man. Mantis, you're a guy who believes deeply in the things that you believe in politically, right?
Yes.
Would you say you're committed to your political beliefs?
I am.
Deeply? I'm going to call cap on that because I have, as of yet, seen you set yourself ablaze in front of a courthouse.
No, you're right. I'm a total poser. I've been sleeping, but I'm going to get on that right now.
We did get to talk about it in front of the Trump hearings down in Lower Manhattan. Some poor soul set himself ablaze in front of the courthouse, and CNN, in their infinite wisdom, decided to stream the entire thing live, which is an incredible act of inhumane behavior.
So it's so funny that this happened, and because this has to do with activism, this has to do with protesting, and this has to do with Buddhism.
Three dangerous things.
Yeah. The three dangers that are going to destroy America.
Right.
It's funny that this happened, and everyone says this guy was a crazy person. Of course, I mean, you pretty much have to be. But I got to tell you, obviously there's always been protests, but the original OG protester against a war, in Vietnam, a Buddhist monk. It was probably 59, or maybe it was the year 60. He got into the lotus position in front of a military base, and he set himself on fire, and he stayed in lotus position. That's what the cross-legged, straight backed, and he held it till he was dead. And everyone is biting that monk's steez, man.
That is commitment right there, man. That is commitment.
Now, I bet this loony couldn't hold the lotus position, but it's funny that happened because people say that's what sparked across the globe protests against Vietnam. People were so horrified that a monk would do this. They're like a poor holy man that they did this. And so what are we living in a age right now? We're living in the age where every college campus and in New York City, Delhi is being protested by some young hippie.
Right.
It's crazy out there.
So here's the crazy thing, really, really insane thing about it. Not to down the mood, but we got to talk about it. We didn't talk about it last week because it didn't happen. The guy, for what I can tell, from my vantage point watching it, did not let out a murmur, not a whimper, not a scream or anything. In fact, the way it was accounted by the police was he pulls up to the situation, sits down on the bench, shuffles through his bag, drops some flyers of some sort in front of himself, pulls out what appears to be accelerant, douses himself in the accelerant, sets himself ablaze, and then that's it. Now,
he's just quiet like a mouse, like
quiet, eerily quiet. I do believe he passed, and I want to send a heartfelt condolence to his family who lived in New York City or New York State, and they didn't even know that he was in town. So he did this completely without.
Didn't even call the BAM.
Didn't tell anyone. But the craziest part about it, Mantis, was CNN's coverage of the entire thing, bro. Because the reporter, who I believe was put on by Don Lemon, she essentially is broadcasting. Well, she's not broadcasting. CNN's broadcasting it, and she's reporting on it. And she also falsely reported that there may have been gunshots or something like that. I could have that wrong, but I'll find the clip, and it's just CNN doing what they do best. Everything wrong.
Absolutely everything wrong. Shaolin Iceboxer is in the house. Shaolin, I don't know if you heard what we were talking about. We're talking about political psychos who set themselves on fire for a cause. Now, the person who originated this was a Buddhist monk, and he was in Vietnam, and he was Vietnamese back during the war. And since then, it's set up all these activists that are, I mean, although I am impressed with the latest guy not even saying a murmur, that's like,
yeah.
Credit where credit is due.
Absolutely.
Now,
absolutely.
Before we play his clip, I want to do my honorable mentions real quick. I ended up seeing 2 movies for my birthday. And the first one was Civil War.
Oh,
which I love it. People are pissed that there's less Civil War in it and more journalism. And yes, it's about war correspondents trying to stay neutral during an American Civil War.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was really good and really horrific. And for any of you people who are like, it would be awesome to have a Civil War so I can kill my neighbor or something. I want you to see this movie because it's going to teach you right.
Listen to me.
It's going to teach you that stuff is not cool, man.
And remember, for all you survival experts, man, who aren't arming yourself to the teeth for this type of stuff, if you're gathering, foraging, you're only gathering all that stuff for your neighbor who has a handgun.
Right.
So arm yourself.
I know there are some people who think, oh, it's going to be kumbaya in my neighborhood. We're really
No.
Those are going to be the neighborhoods. One of me.
Yeah.
It takes one of me and the whole system's ruined.
I'm running around with an air necklace day 3 before any.
It's all white yuppies around your necklace, right?
Bex wants to know, so what was he protesting exactly? We don't know. We don't know what he was protesting.
What side he was on. They claim he wasn't political in his life either.
Yeah.
I would assume he's, I assume he's MAGA, but
assumptions are dangerous things. I sent you the clip. It's the latest one. So you saw Civil War. What was the other movie you saw?
Oh, and then I saw Late Night with the Devil.
Late Night with the Devil. I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, this one's great. So do you saw the second Suicide Squad? Suicide Squad 2?
Yes.
So the actor who plays Polka Dot Man.
Okay, yes.
It takes place in the 1970s, and it's actually, you're watching the broadcast of a late night show, and he's like one of those late night shows. He's got the 70s hair and those tacky suits.
Right.
He's like, and it's Halloween night, and he's doing like a thing, and he brings somebody on who's going to exorcise a girl from a demon that's in her.
Yeah.
And all sorts of evil breaks loose. And I gotta say, it was a lot of fun.
Really? I'm surprised.
Really
I'm surprised you didn't go see the new Omen movie. I would have thought that was right up your alley. The Devil's Alley. That is.
Right. I'm a movie snob, so I like Omen's a little too mainstream for me. You know what I mean? I'll catch it on streaming.
Minnie Pearl in the Twitch chat says, I'm catching this on Twitch. Again, belated celebration for Mantis's birthday. If you have Amazon Prime, just go over to Twitch on your computer browser and go ahead and give Mantis a Prime sub. That's right, Bex. The air necklace is crazy. Third day, they're going to be like, turn on the news. But turns out this isn't that big of a deal. There's plenty of food and water. The infrastructure has not been impacted, and you're just going to see my crazy ass running in the background like the end is not.
All it will take is water to be off for 2 hours.
Oh, it's Dragon Lady. It's Dragon Lady over on Twitch. Okay, thank you.
What up, Dragon Lady? Pearl. Yeah, Pearl indeed.
So those are the only honorable mentions I have. Man, we got a bunch of pop media stuff to talk about tonight. Obviously, X-Men 97 putting in that work, as they say.
Yeah, that's a straight up story. That's not an honorable mention.
Not an honorable mention at all. We're going to get into the ascension of DJ Academics and what might be jarring news for a lot of you and his new status as a hip-hop media broadcaster.
Yeah, you're going to upset me. You're going to upset me. So you're going to upset me, so let's talk about the man setting himself on fire so I can calm down, okay? Let's do it.
Breaking news.
We're following breaking news. Our team outside the Manhattan courthouse where former President Donald Trump's hush money trial is happening just witnessed a disturbing scene. A man set himself on fire near the location where they were going live. It happened just moments after the court impaneled the full 12-member jury, a historic moment.
It was. Let's get right out to CNN's Laura Coates. And Laura, you were standing there interviewing a guest.
Oh, yeah, they
Real
removed
quick,
that.
I got to say, I love how they're so trained to be unemotional that they're unemotional about this.
Absolutely. And
It's
actually,
like a real tragedy.
where our hearts are broken. Crazy thing is they've removed the live stream. So originally that young lady there, the black woman that you see on the screen, she was reporting on it live, and she's like, and here we are down at the Trump hush money, and then a man has just set himself on fire. And I could have swore I heard her say, and there's an active shooter, or she said there was an active scene, one of the two, and they panned the camera over to the fire, which I couldn't even make out was a human body. And it's absolute madness, man. Absolute madness.
Oh my God.
All happened, and I know this was deeply jarring and affecting to watch this happen.
Affecting.
Walk us through
That's
what
the
you
best
saw
word she
happen
could come
outside
up
the
with.
courthouse.
Well, we were standing, as you know, just outside of the Manhattan courtroom when history had just been made by a fully impaneled jury, and we thought we were reporting on that history. Instead, life would change the course of events here today when a group of people who were standing.
Honestly, I gotta say this. I kind of wish that we had journalists who were telling it like it is. And I kind of wish that they were like, we have someone on the scene, and that woman should be crying. And she should be like, this motherfucker lit himself on fire.
The humanity.
The humanity. And I'm saying, I feel like we get more out of this.
No, absolutely, man. And here's the crazy thing about this whole thing happening. Yes, tragedy, life loss. Please, if they haven't found a manifesto yet, I'm praying it's not a manifesto. stating that he was burning himself in protest of an innocent man being prosecuted. Because Donald Trump is a lot of things, but innocent man in totality is not. Now, the hush money thing we covered a little bit last week, right? You know, in regards to paying off, the ex-porn star.
I think this is one of the trumped up charges.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think it's a trumped up charge, but I'm so disinterested in it.
Oh, definitely. They're trying to because she's in there. It's about sex. They're trying to like make sure there's sex in it so people pay attention. But people don't really, because here's what it is. He's really being accused of a financial crime, and the thing is that juries and people don't give a damn about financial crimes. They don't understand them.
Right.
They don't know how to analyze this. And what really happened is he used money he wasn't supposed to, and he moved money around creatively, and that's what they're really trying to get him on. But who has time to listen to accountants talk about bullshit? And
absolutely.
Thank God there's a hooker involved. so people will listen. Because if there wasn't a hooker involved, no one is going to pay attention to this.
No one cares.
Certainly
no
not
one
the jury.
They're like, bring out the corn star, man. What are your favorite film actresses? Adult sexual athletes. Lisa Ann. Did you ever see the clip?
How's she doing?
Did you ever see the clip of her? The clip of her recently getting dragged out of a restaurant or something like that, like a housewife, one of the housewife women.
No, why?
Crazy. I have no idea. And she's just like, I don't know why they're persecuting me. It's like, who gave these people the right to have a voice?
I have to say, in terms of porn star, because she's older. She she's paid her dues. She's a class act in terms of porn stars.
Right. Is she?
I would say, yeah. I think she's a classy lady for a porn star. So how dare they mistreat her?
She was definitely dressed the part. She definitely looked like a classy lady being dragged out. If I didn't know any better, I would have just thought she was some Upper East Side Betty being dragged out of
some MILF, right? Oh man. Let's see if she has anything interesting to say about Fire.
Standing near an area that once had a Trump flag that was waving in the wind in the courtyard area. A group of people began to scream. Our attention was turned towards that area as onlookers saw some sort of pamphlets go up in the air. Immediately, over the course of what has come to describe modern American history, we had first thought it was an active shooter to look to the area where people were running away from. At that point, I saw a man lift his arm.
She thinks everything's an active shooter. An alien could come down, start lifting people up with telekinetic beams of light, and she'd be like, an active shooter! It must be a MAGA!
It's a white male! Run for your lives!
See a white man doing it. She's pre-programmed to say all the stupid things.
Yeah, she definitely said it on. She's definitely said it on air. She assumed that it was an active shooter, and I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, no, it's totally idiotic. But I don't like her fake speech right now. You could tell her mind is not on the things she's saying. Like someone wrote her a script, and they're like, try to pretend you're professional.
I love the cadence of reporters, man. This must be a part of journalistic quote unquote school where they're like, okay, so you're going to be on CNN, a Good Morning America, and now you have to learn to speak in this cadence where the inflection goes up at the mere thought of the weather changing.
Right. And then he set himself on fire and his brains popped out of his eyes. Yeah. Now to Chuck for sports. They're insane. And but here's what it is. Obviously, it's more so on the internet. Yeah. The internet teaches us to be insane, but I think these guys started teaching us how to be insane.
Oh man, I was pontificating on something, meandering, moving around in my brain, if you will, in regards to the 9/11 days. Remember the color-coded system of terror that we lived under, where it's an orange alert and it's like, this means that this is happening right now. A yellow alert means that something could happen.
I check the news every morning to see what color terror alert it was. And they're like, and obviously they made it up. They're like, today's a green day. And you're like, yay! I can go visit my children. And then they're like, today's a yellow day. And they're like, oh, no kids today. Fuck you. You gotta stay with your mom.
What's funny about that, man, is you remember that was during the height of Fahrenheit 11, when Michael Moore, documentarian, made the film, obviously Fahrenheit 11, and everyone had widely accepted that there was a governmental conspiratorial plan, a campaign of fear by the government and news outlets working in conjunction with each other to keep us terrified at all times. Now, I just want to stretch your brain for a second. And again, Instagram, YouTube, X, I'm just posing a theory. Why was it such a leap for so many people to think that there was a campaign of fear being propagated in regards to a certain global pandemic? You remember like the response of people was like, you're making us live in absolute terror. And they're like, no, we're keeping you safe. We're keeping you absolutely safe.
I do agree. Here's what I'm saying. I want to make this clear. I use the word scandemic on a regular basis. I do believe there was a pandemic. However, I do believe they overreacted to it, and I do believe that it was definitely part of the fear campaign. Just like right now, you know, when you talk to like somebody who's scared of Trump,
yeah,
and a woman's like, you look at a chick and she's a liberal chick, she's like, and this could be the last election we're allowed to vote in. Mm-hmm. Well, he's already been president. Why didn't he eliminate elections at 2020?
He didn't have enough time. We talked about this before, man.
The theory makes no sense. Ultimately, they have to fear everything. They fear the bird flu. They fear Trump. They fear Biden. They don't know who to vote for anymore. They fear Palestine. They fear Israel, even though they don't know what either place is. You know what I'm saying? And they go on. And don't get me started on the conspiracy theories. You know, there's some real crazy one about Taylor Swift going around. And
you started it. Any Taylor Swift conspiracy that I encounter, I assume that it started with you, bro.
You know the Nashville shooter? She was, I was going to say a trans girl. I'm sorry, that's a trans boy. Trans person. Who shot up the Christian school.
Yes.
So there is a conspiracy going around that is stating she left all her property, all her belongings to Taylor Swift.
Really?
And that Taylor Swift is the technical owner of her diary that everyone wants to look at. And so they have to go through Taylor Swift to get to the diary. And that's the conspiracy. Now, let us know that the Fanboy Modeling School is not saying this is so. I'm saying I heard this on the playground.
Right.
Absolutely.
Some people might say that Taylor Swift is shoring power. She has her claws and a very prominent NFL star made the game about her, right? To the point where she was allegedly dropping her own chat GB or whatever that shit is called.
Oh, that she dropped those images. I wouldn't be surprised because she is such an attention whore. She needs to be on she needs to be on our minds all the time. And here's my honorable mention, hot take. I have to say, her latest album ain't shit.
That's not a hot take. None of her music ain't worth a damn.
No,
not
so here's the brilliant thing about pop music.
Well, okay, hit me.
Okay? The creatives are usually people who are like, I write words, you put them to pretty tunes, and the producers are like, yeah, sure. And the producers know what they're doing, and they make hot beats, and they make something cool. Like Selena Gomez is just writing garbage out of her diary, and people are like, yeah, okay, cool, this works. Same thing with Taylor Swift. Her lyrics are horrible, but her songs are good because the music is good. This one doesn't even have good music.
Again, I would categorically disagree with you that any of her music is good. But again, music taste is subjective, right? I have to acknowledge something that Bex just said in the chat. I love how black people were saying everything but the word pandemic. And then if you scroll down, it was Panini Panoramic. And the dragon lady hits us with the most terrifying words spoken are, I'm from the government and I'm here to
help. Yeah. Oh God. Oh my God. That is freaking terrifying.
Do not worry, citizens. We are here for your good. Do not fear us. If you want to let this rock, it's not much else. She's just gonna kind of recount the situation here, man. But
here to put something on his body, followed by flames that engulfed his entire person. It not only lit his body into flames, but the area around him.
I just
People were
want someone to
screaming
be
around
like,
the area.
and that
an immediate
motherfucker
smell
blew up in the
came around from
flames,
not
oh,
only
and he's
some form of a
screaming. It was
chemical
crazy.
accelerant, but also
Crazy.
Dear Lord.
of burning
I'm
flesh.
taking
Now,
PTO.
we had people in this area. Law enforcement is all around, including
Reminds
Mayor
me, I
Adams at one point on Monday, who come by to witness the presence of police. Remember, an American president was sitting inside of this courthouse.
Try
Secret
to
Service
make this
law
about
enforcement
Donald Trump.
detail in the heart of
Yeah,
Manhattan.
don't you
an
love how
area
they
where
try to
law
make
enforcement
everything
is
about Donald Trump? They're like,
It's
and they're like,
always.
and some motherfucker beat the crap out of his wife. Clearly a sign of Trump's. As a matter of fact, they tried to do that. Remember when there was an epidemic of punching blonde women in the face?
Oh, yes.
A journalist tried to say that's a byproduct of the age of Trump. A sign that Donald Trump is going to win is because these misogynists come out and they lash out at pretty women.
And here's the funny thing, man. Wouldn't that be in the reverse if white women are getting beat? Wouldn't that be like someone assuming that a blonde, white, older woman on the Upper East Side was a Trump supporter? You can't
Right.
trust them for any
But
consistency.
also in New York, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
In the city, there's like 5 Trump supporters, and they're all fighter fighters. You know what I'm saying? In the surrounding counties, like if you do Long Island, you do Westchester, you're gonna find
Staten Island, they love Trump in Staten Island.
Yeah.
They
Like
love
I said, Staten Island is mostly firefighters.
they love them
like,
over there, man.
In the main city, these blonde bitches you're hitting are Fifth Avenue liberals. Right?
Oh man, are you ready? Let's jump off of CNN. Keep it in this view though, because we have to talk about the big news breaking across the internet right now. Today, Joe Biden and the conglomerate have signed into action the ban of TikTok. Now, Donald Trump also signed into action the ban of TikTok when he was in office, then it got rejected. I got a couple of videos here where we're gonna check in with our good friend Tyron Magnus, who is a staple here on YouTube, trusted gentleman, purveyor of his own thoughts. A lot of TikTokers,
well said.
a lot of TikTokers are upset by this, as they should be. We're talking about people who advertise, have a revenue stream coming from TikTok, and they're the fear of losing their accounts is on the table.
So yeah, I want to address that real quick.
Go for it.
I noticed that a lot of YouTubers, a lot of people who have this point, no matter what side you're on, I'm not trying to force anyone in one department or the other. They're always like saying, well, there are all these people who have businesses on TikTok. How do you explain that? How do you explain blah, 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 and all this stuff? You are not entitled to an online content creation job. As a matter of fact, when you're making content on a certain platform, it requires the platform to be successful or to exist at any rate, right?
Right.
And so it's not like the government's going to be like, well, we're going to forego national security so that some beach babe can keep up her fucking dancing TikTok. Porn girl's out of business. She can't dance anywhere else. I can think of where she can dance. Her local strip club. Boom!
Hot tub.
Mic dropped. If this had a handle, I would have dropped it.
I mean, you could do a hot tub stream on Twitch. Those are still wildly popular.
All these bitches can go there. All these bitches can go there.
But while you're addressing that, right? So there are some murmurings, if you will, on TikTok from, legal analysts, if you want to use that term, saying that there are class action lawsuits that are being potentially floated around because they feel as if though there's a legal precedent that they do have the right to exist. And by banning TikTok, you're ruining many of businesses and you're also inhibiting free speech, which is why the sword is always cutting both ways in regards to the conversation of free speech. Also, in regards to TikTok, there's a lot of misinformation on both sides of the table about TikTok being controlled by a foreign national. They're, of course, talking about the creator of TikTok and him being a Chinese national, and that somehow Americans are leaking their information to the Chinese government. One legal analyst said, in fact, Americans have a right to leak their information to any government they want. And I found that to be a wildly interesting stance, because it's true. You do have the right to leak your information to whomever you want.
I don't think you have the right. You don't know if you have the right. You can still be arrested for leaking
your own personal information.
Oh, your own personal information.
Yeah. Your own personal information.
Actually. There might be some merit to that. But let's see what our man Tyrone has to say.
What is happening, Magnusites? So TikTok just got banned, and from what I understand, that rhymes ain't declared the game. Bars! They have like approximately a year to fix things or so. So the owner has something to say. Would you like to hear what he has to say?
Talker.
I would.
Yeah,
Nice,
he
I
is.
wrote.
Interesting.
Definitely is.
No.
Give you my thoughts.
Hi everyone, it's Show here. As you may have heard, Congress passed a bill that the president signed into law that is designed to ban TikTok in the United States. That will take TikTok away from you and 170 million Americans who find community and connection on our platform.
Community.
Make no
You know what?
I
Take
love
it away from you. You know what the hell with
I
TikTok?
love that he couldn't he let it rock for 60 seconds and then he had to interrupt.
Exactly, because he's about to tell us his experience on TikTok, which I want everyone to pay attention to, because your boy over here simply posted a clip with a caption that said, allegedly misinformation. I followed their guidelines to a T, and they took that shit down quick, fast, in a hurry, and shadow banned me to the point where
YouTube.
No, yeah, exactly. let him rock. Let him cook.
So anybody on TikTok sees this, has got any power, you guys deleted my channel on there. Okay. You deleted it off of a parody video that I put up where I was like, hey ladies. And I had a filter on my face crossing my eyes. And I was saying, hey, I got a OnlyFans starting up January 1st, 2024.
What's wrong with any of
Make
that?
sure you sign up. And they deleted my channel because of that. Now, I was never on there in the first place.
What's wrong with that?
But I was like, what in the hell is wrong with you with all the insane, psychotic, society-killing videos,
right?
Okay, that you have on there? You had the nerve to delete that, and then when I appealed it, said that you were correct on it. Then forget y'all. So I don't care whether you go or not. You can't even make a proper decision on my channel like that. So
Yo, I want to chime in real quick.
Go for it.
Not only am I repping Res Radio on TikTok for as long, because I knew they weren't going to do it overnight. I knew it was going to take some time, right? So I was like, we might as well milk this horse while we can.
Right.
That was a bad analogy. I don't think we milk horses, but
no, we don't. If I find out you're out there milking horses, I'm going to shoot your ass with a drink.
Right. But the other thing that we're down to, so I went on to the clones of TikTok, and is anyone actually doing a clone thing for TikTok?
No, what do you mean? What I don't understand.
So basically, there's two apps I got Res Radio on. It's Likey and it's Clapper. And yes, feel free to laugh at that last one. It's Clapper. I know you're thinking, a bitch is getting clapped on this thing. Yes, the answer is yes. So here's what it is. They are both total TikTok clones, and people are on them, and actually Riz Radio is getting engagement on there. And so I'm ready for the collapse of TikTok. I'm the digital equivalent of like a man who has a stack of AK-47s and a pile of canned food.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so here's what it is. There's alternatives. We don't need TikTok necessarily. So if I actually, everyone listening to this, everyone who's into this, go to Clapper, go to Likey. Likey spelled Likee. It's very popular amongst the Latino community. However, it gets the job done. People are on there. People are liking our stuff. So,
bro, here's the deal, right? The people. So I've listened to a few different content creators. One specifically who has an interesting take on this. A gentleman by the name of Conscious Lee. Right, he was caught up recently in the scandal in regards to Brick Baby, aka Brick Lady, where he taken a very strong stance in favor of Brick Lady, who's actually about to do some time, if I have my facts correct. And then he had to come out and make a public apology. But he is a left-leaning, conscious content creator, and he is adamantly against the TikTok ban for the obvious reasons and for other reasons where I had to give him credit for bringing it to the table, as it were, which is this is where we're allowed to go to voice our side of the conversation. Apparently, there are some left-leaning people on YouTube also experiencing, specifically in the black sector of YouTube, shadow bans for talking about issues as it relates to the diaspora and all those other things.
Of course they're getting shadow banned. I'm not surprised at that at all.
So, and that's
Here's
their
what I'm
argument.
saying. Wokeness, wokeness. Sorry to say it. I know some people get triggered by hearing this or whatever, but wokeness only goes as far as long as you are a well-behaved minority. They like well-behaved blacks, well-behaved women, well-behaved browns, whoever it is. But if you are actually spitting truth, you are gonna get shadow banned.
Yes,
because they don't need the truth. They need a mascot. Wokeness.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. It's a very good point, man.
Because that's the thing. A lot of people are like, "Well, they're woke, so they're going to listen to me." Blah blah blah. That's not true.
No,
you still need to play. You need to hit certain notes. You have to play certain games.
Yeah, your wokeness has to be entirely in line with the very palatable, acceptable concept of the now adopted and bastardized version of wokeness. You can't come up in there talking about redlining and naming names. Oh, and we have another story that just broke today. Your man, not your man specifically, just in the rhetorical sense of the term, Weinstein. His charges overturned. We'll get to this after it's, folks. This is a lot of madness.
Yeah. So much to do, but really, real quick, let's see.
But there's a ton of garbage on there. But there's a ton of garbage everywhere. So, I think if it goes, I think people will still have community here on YouTube. They'll have it on Facebook. They'll have it on Instagram. They'll have it on
apps.
Twitter. And there's other places, Reddit and stuff like that. People will still find their community. But there's people that really love TikTok. There's people that have made a living for themselves. They've got careers there. So I do have a feeling I feel bad for those people that would lose that.
Right.
In further defense to the government's claims and what they do. And I know you guys are like, Mantis, why are you following the government? Blah, blah, blah. I just think in this case, for national security, I have no problem with them defending me by protecting us from China. Right?
Yeah.
And so
okay.
I don't, just like I said, the TikTok hoes are not entitled to running a business on TikTok. Just like, for instance, conservative people all the time make channels on YouTube, and YouTube's like, eventually, like after years, will be like, you know what? They're too conservative for my taste, and they will just fucking demonetize them.
Yo, shout out real quick to my man Nicky Boy and Manny over on Instagram. Shout out to you.
What up, Manny? Nicky Boy.
Yo, so here's the thing, man. Let's be responsible, right? Let's be responsible. And now this is not me taking a side anywhere, right? The whole threat of national security in regards to TikTok. Maybe I was buying that before. Maybe I would be invested in that before. But given the content that's up on TikTok, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, is it really a national security? A bunch of thoughts, a bunch of, World Star-esque. Like, is this what the Chinese government is looking for? They're like, yes. Woo, slowly. No, that's not what Mantis is talking about.
My man.
Hold on. Let me cook because I'm about to agree with you. This whole conversation started with anti-American sentiment clips being uploaded to TikTok. And that's where the real threat lies.
I should have known you were hip to it.
The government's not worried about information going out. They're worried about information coming in. They're worried about propaganda coming in from other countries and swaying the opinion of America. They're worried about what is the new Cold War tactics of social media. And for the first time, countries that did not have the ability or infrastructure to attack America on any real legible or plausible way have found out how to do it, right? Apparently, Americans like clicking on links. They love it, except for our family members and friends who won't click on any of our links. But Americans love watching political discourse coming from different places. Bro, I was on TikTok. I'm sorry, just the last thing. I was on TikTok just last week, man. And I watched a 5-minute long anti-American propaganda clip that was clear to me allegedly coming from Iran, right? And it was a reverse spin on everything from 9/11
Right.
leading up to now. And I was just like, wow, this is on here, man. This is on here.
Right now. You are cooking so on.
This is on here, man. This is on here. And that's all I'm saying, man. Like, if I were to topple an empire, I would definitely go the route of releasing misinformation, the very thing that so many people who are on the left side of the conversation are constantly accusing the right of, but yet you're so quick to assume and quantify the things that you see. And I'm not talking about journalists. I'm talking about you puppets who are on the left, who every video you see assume that it is factual and posted with the best intent for you as American. Let me let me clue you something in, man. There was a great film called Red Dawn that was released in the 80s and then remade in the early 2000s, right? For those of you who support some level of communism, right? You support it now until you feel the cold, hard heel of a Chinese boot on your neck, right? Because the communism that you support only exists in your fever dream. It only exists in coffee shops, right? This utopic form of socialism only exists in your mind. And man, did you know how some of these people come to the table with the argument in favor of their fever dream version of socialism? They say terms like this. Peep it. It's a vision for tomorrow. It's a vision for tomorrow. No, motherfucker. You're enrolled in a vision that is impacting you today, and you don't even realize that the country that you are supporting would never allow you to have the freedoms that you demand. In fact, I would challenge anyone that leans into certain communities, let me just use that term, to look up the stats on LGBTQ relations in China.
Right. Or their same relations with, say, Arabic countries.
Yes.
When they're protesting actively for these people, and I was like, they're like gays for Palestine. I don't know how to break this one to you.
Yeah. Remember, here at Fanboy Modeling School, we just want you to consider all things, man.
This is a thought experiment. Real quick, one of the things I want to interject about earlier is you were saying how hard it is to get your own loved ones to like what you do.
Right.
Hysterical. I went to a with a gender reveal party out in Long Island the other day, and my very good friend,
you bigot,
my very good friend is driving us all back, and he's got a whole digital setup for his tune system in his car,
right?
And he goes boom, 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 and he puts on Z100. He could go to anywhere, and I look at him, I'm in shotgun, I go, for real? And he's like, what? I'm like, for real, bro? He said, what? I don't understand. I'm like, just put on Z100 in front of me. And he said, what? I was like, that's a pop station. And he's like, yeah. And I looked at him, I was like, yo, and I made him put on Riz Radio. And he had access to Riz Radio in front of me. He didn't put it.
Gangster that shit up, man. Gangster that shit up.
Absolutely. But yo, no, it is totally crazy out here what's going on with the whole TikTok situation. And people just have this is general activism, this is internet activism that you're talking about, where it's possible I think a lot of these kids don't even know who they're backing or why they're backing them.
Right.
And once again, why go to TikTok when you can go to Clapper?
Right.
Just the idea of being on an app called Clapper is freaking brilliant, right?
Right. And here's the thing with TikTok, all these apps, TikTok, Facebook, Spoon, YouTube, Instagram. Never forget, at the very foundation of all these apps, they never said anything about welcoming any political ideology being, broadcasted on their channels, man. It was popular when it was popular. It worked when it worked. And the minute they realized that it was bringing more dissension and more dysfunction to their platforms, that's when they started heavily policing it. Now, the next video I sent you in regards to TikTok is going to be the breakdown of what happens in regards to this ban. Because We're not talking about Spoon here, right? When Spoon went under, we knew it was going under, right? Like, there was not going to be anything to save it short of us all donating $5 each to it. But there's an actual legal process that has to play out for TikTok to be completely removed from your phone and inaccessible. It's not like when Parler got taken down. Parler got taken down. That shit was down. That night, you couldn't even, it stopped working that day.
Yo,
TikTok go for it.
But you know how that shit was as unlawful as it gets.
I was trying to tell a friend of mine, he was like, this is them trying to hush conservatives. I'm like, well, I mean, bro, they're kind of cooking right now. There were motherfuckers planning the dissension on my new favorite holiday, which is Riot Day on January 6th. They used Parler to set up their meets.
It's Liberation Day for starters. And them criminalizing January 6th, just like criminalizing Parler, just like all the horrible things they're doing to our former president, are criminal. These animals.
This motherfucker said Liberation Day.
I'm not going to say what I'm going to say because this is YouTube. And YouTube be canceling motherfuckers. But I'm just saying, I'm on to you. I know the crap you've been serving up.
Right.
People, the humans of America are not going to put up with it, you animals.
Yeah, listen to me. The algorithm is Skynet, and if you don't know that by now, man, you silly pawns. But yeah,
or should we say Master Mold?
Yeah, Master Mold. We'll be talking about Master Mold later on. But yeah, there's an actual legal process that has to follow out. So the bill has been signed. That doesn't mean the app comes down today. The video I sent you is of another TikTok sloofer. It should be directly under the Tyron Magnus one.
I know. Is this it?
Yeah, it's the one with that feeble old man we call president. There you go.
Yeah, this joke who supposedly they're like, wow, he really did a record amount of votes. Yeah, everyone voted for a dead mummy.
Hey,
That's
man,
what happened.
He raised major bank in his private
Everybody
little
thinks
campaign.
it's about money. It's not about money. My man Donald Trump is in negative numbers right now. Yo, did you see he went to construction sites right now and like today and like all these during his lunch break he goes to places like last week he went to the bodega, this week he went to a construction site and all these people came out to see him and shit.
Man, listen, he's got a way with people, man, and his social gains, they don't really understand it on the left. Go ahead and play this, man. I will be right back.
TikTok to be sold or banned, here's what happens. The moment the act became law, a clock started ticking. It gives ByteDance 9 months to sell TikTok to a company that the US approves. But TikTok has already said that they're going to sue by the fall to block the law from taking effect, calling it an unconstitutional ban. Once they officially bring a challenge in court, the clock is effectively paused, and the issue moves to the DC Circuit Court of Appeals. No matter which way that court rules, the loser will probably appeal to the Supreme Court. That would delay a ban for another year, meaning nothing would happen until 2026. If SCOTUS finds this bill unconstitutional, then Congress is back to square one. But if SCOTUS lets the law stand, that 9-month clock resumes. Then, if it looks like a deal on a sale is coming together, the president can grant a one-time 90-day extension. But experts say that ByteDance is unlikely to sell TikTok. Now, if that timer hits 0 without a deal, TikTok wouldn't be deleted off your phone. It would be banned from online app stores and internet hosting services, meaning you couldn't download or update it, and eventually making it pretty hard to use.
Well, that was very informative, but he's right with appeals and stuff. That is, pretty much we have at least 3 more years of TikTok.
So this is the time for all you thoughts to go ham because this is what they need. They need y'all in the hot tubs.
Take it all off. Take it all off. Yo, don't hold back because next year you might not be able to. Unless you're on Clapper.
Everyone's just going to move to another social media platform, man. And in all honesty, my prediction is this, right? Reddit, Discord, and Rumble. Reddit, Discord, and Rumble. These are going to become the 3 most pervasive platforms moving into the future, man. Discord, Reddit, Discord, and Rumble. Because people are getting to a place, and they have been in a place where they want to be taken seriously as content creators, and they want to have a space where they can be monetized and fans can donate to them directly and not have to go through a paywall, shit that, man. And these are going to be the places. In fact, I keep trying to tell you guys, man, if you haven't noticed, the last few updates for Discord have really been beefing up the social media aspect of it. Like, I've been saying it for
that's
years.
the whole thing. Here was both the bad side and good side to Discord. It was your own private clubhouse where people couldn't stumble upon you or bother you. You could have your own people hanging out in chat rooms and actually live streams without having fucking to deal with the outside world. That's great.
Yeah.
But from a commercial side, it's bad, right?
From a commercial side, it is bad, right? Because
they
you know,
want people interacting. That's why Facebook and Instagram and all these places, you know, they're always like suggesting friends and forcing friendships on you, forcing you to engage because they make more money when you do that.
Yeah.
Manny says based when we were talking about women taking it off. How wrecked are you, Mantis? This is normal Mantis when he's not at work. This is Mantis with his tie off. I will say this. What do you think of XTV?
XTV. I think it's gonna go the same way as the Dodo Bird or friggin' Facebook TV, man, right? And even Instagram TV, right? Not enough engagement for smaller content creators as ourselves. Larger content creators are definitely going to have, and as they should, they've paved the way. They have the right, and their fans want to come see them. We'll actually be talking about one of them in a second, but it's nothing new. It's nothing new under the sun, man. Cheers to you, brother. It's nothing new under the sun. What really needs to happen is we all, as content creators or consumers of content, need to pick a lane and then stick in that lane, right? The days of multi-streaming and this huge bubble that we were all existing in, I really do believe is coming to an end. And it's just going to be
say that.
No, not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. I'm saying that it's going to have to be in a place that respects the time of the content creator and most importantly, the fan, right? There should not be a monetization wall, right? You should not have to earn 1,000. If you got 200 people who rock with you and they want to hear what you have to say, they should be able to donate right then and there.
Absolutely. And you're already earning the platform money. We all know they're running commercials on our shitty YouTube videos. Right? And that is fun. That has messed me up because I've had at least 3 videos in my career, my few-year career of YouTube that went viral.
Yeah.
I'm getting tens of thousands of things, but I can't monetize it because I don't have enough followers. That's crazy.
Yeah, but you know who gets all the revenue from that click and advertisement is YouTube. Over on Instagram, Nikki Boy says, Roy, you wrecked it. I'll tag in with something on this TikTok ban. I don't think it should get banned, but it should have an age restriction. But there's really no stop to that. Nick, you said a whole gospel right there, man. One thing that's really going to get you clapped on these fucking on these apps, man, is these little kids running around in here with PFPs that you can't recognize, no age restriction at all, joining in on adult conversations and definitely bringing an energy that does not need to be brought.
But if the internet wanted some sort of like age restriction thing, they would have a long time ago. They like it being the Wild West.
Yeah.
They like some 40-year-old guy being like, I didn't know she was 14. They're like, even when you hit it, he's like, no, totally thought she was 35. They are totally into that.
Bro, just looking at Spoon, man, Spoon went the exact opposite direction. After their relaunch, not only did they say we're not going to make an adult section of Spoon, we're going to restrict adults even more because just like Sexy Red, our target audience is 11-year-olds, bro. It's 11-year-olds.
Nick, you're right. Nick is right. However, I like the concept that you're bringing up because we all talked about this. A spoon at night or something where like people have to have verified profile and you get to go to like the rooms or the things that are spicy. I'm into that.
Yeah. I'm sure you are, you sick bastard.
Yeah. And I'm like, sorry, you kids can stay in your little anime channels. I'm going to be talking to the stripper over here. That will be the future. TikTok. Here's what it is. Maybe I'm an old man. But
You
TikTok is garbage. Because if you really are strolling on it, it's all mindless, idiotic bullshit.
Also,
And here's
TikTok,
what I'm saying. I'm not advocating some sort of social media where all they do is teach you educational shit and everything's enlightened. Fuck that.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm old school hip hop. You know, I like drug dealing and slapping bitches. You know, so, but I don't know what the middle ground is. What's the middle ground?
I would say the middle ground is definitely okay. So, say for instance, let's look at the smaller infrastructure of Spoon, right? To get a verified account, I don't know, they demanded something like 1,000 subscribers, and you sent a picture of your ID. And by the way, no one had problems with sending pictures of their ID to get verified. Who knows where our IDs went once we sent them over?
TikTok doing that. TikTok. Chinese government's like, send us your ID.
It's
Social Security number, and a picture of your erect penis next to a quarter. You know, for size reference.
Yo, the middle ground is just this, man. One social media platform to rule them all, and the group that got the closest, I would say, was Meta, and in fact, with the Instagram Live TV, where they had really poured a lot of money into trying to make that into a thing as an alternative to mainstream media. That's the middle ground, bro. I want to acknowledge what Manny is saying right now. Discord is Groomer Central 100%. I've kicked people out of the Hold Up TV Discord where I'm like, yo,
yeah,
you're bugging. You're bugging right now. And that's why you need moderators. And that's why you should be able to monetize your shit from the gate, because you got to be able to. You're not in Rogue Planet all day long. Who knows what these motherfuckers are saying?
Right.
When you're not, I need to be able to pay someone to look into this shit.
If they could do it if they wanted to, just like websites require you to provide your ID when reselling merchandise or buying certain products online. Right, it all requires an ID. Thank you, D, for pointing that out.
Very
absolutely, true. Just like this porn restriction. You know how how Pornhub was restricted, banned in Texas.
Oh,
because Texas said you have to do an age requirement thing, and they're like, we're not going to do it, and they're like, okay, we're blocking your website in Texas.
Crazy thing, Instagram just disconnected our stream.
What did we say or do?
I'm reading it right now.
Yeah, TikTok is Orwellian brainwashing. I absolutely agree with that.
Oh, okay. So apparently they only allow you to stream for an hour on Instagram, which is why they are in the dumpster that they're in right now.
And it's funny that you were just praising them. You were like, Instagram and Facebook or could have been the mega thing. You know what the problem with them are? And this is an example. Oh my God, they're proving a point the Mantis is about to make. The problem with those who run Meta-based products is they're not cool.
Yep.
They don't know how to be cool. They don't know what is cool. They don't know anything about trends. They are stuck in 2008. They have not been cool forever. They're like, we've got an app that will tell you whose birthday it is. Fuck you. I'm tired of saying happy birthday to everybody. Give me the titties. Give me the dancing. Let me let me have a nightlife on Facebook. That would be amazing. But instead they're like, we have a bunch of groups where angry moms talk about, the moms of Pleasantville. Fuck you, dude. Grow up.
Yeah,
that's not gonna save your company.
And the crazy thing is, man, who really had his finger on the pulse of this entire situation and had a good understanding of how these things work was, I hate to say it, Kevin. No, I don't hate to say it. I'm gonna give him his props. Kevin Samuels. When Kevin Samuels blew up with the whole average at best on YouTube, he tried to convince a bunch of other guys from the Black Manosphere. He's like, yo, we need to get on Instagram. And at the time, Instagram was still monetizing. People still make a grip of money. Actually, surprisingly, No Jumper makes a grip of money on Instagram. I don't know how. I'm not just saying them in particular. I don't know how they're making money on Instagram. But he understood that you have to go where the content can get to people and they can get their money to you and you can get their money from them and you can continue to deliver them that content. And as of right now, the only places that I can see that happening is Rumbler, because let's be fair. YouTube has no interest in a show like ours, right? They hate Fresh and Fit, but they didn't hate them enough to remove their content, just enough to demonetize them. we still want all those people coming over to our streams, according to YouTube, but
Right.
they just don't want to pay him for it. Same
That's
thing
the-
with just Pearly things.
Well, no, that's the sneaky, like, evil, dare I say it, sorry guys, white man maneuver, where what they do is it's like here's what it is. Before they used to say, you're kicked off YouTube, cause drama, people get in your face, they're like, F you. Instead, they silently demonetize you and expect you to figure it out.
Exactly.
And when the checks don't come, you're like, what's happening? And they're like, oh, we demonetize you. Of course, we still run commercials on your shit. You just don't get it. You don't get a cut of it, which is, straight up, that's some Nazi shit right there.
Oh, and also, by the way, we also charge our fan base the privilege of not having commercials, and you being demonetized won't get any of that YouTube premium Skrilla, as it were. But folks, again, we're bringing you the facts in regards to this TikTok ban.
Nick,
Moving right along to our
I
next
got
topic.
something.
Go.
Quick for us. I got something real quick for us. So I know, and once again, it's going to seem like Mantis is always taking shots at liberals.
Right.
And I am. And so I think a lot of you look up to a gentleman by the name of Hassan Piker. You know Hassan Piker?
Yeah, of course. The nephew of the very successful owner and proprietor of what is that shit called?
The Young Turks.
Yes, the Young Turks,
Yes,
man. Self-made
absolutely.
man.
Yeah, right. He's a nephew, and he used his uncle's fame to become a streamer,
Right.
hyper liberal, hyper all these things. And so recently he actually went on mainstream television, and we've got to discuss it. We've got the clips right here.
Oh, please do play it. Also being accused of being a champagne socialist, purveyor of socialist thought, whilst owning a very expensive home and beautiful sports car. But hey, he did bring pizzas to a social.
Well, there is pizza. These motherfuckers are dying, and one of the problems is they have malnutrition. But yeah, bring pizza, which is carbs and cheese. Thanks, bro.
I dare say that he had the same response as many major conglomerates. Man, our team did amazing this month. What can we do to recognize their effort? Pizza party.
Right.
And everyone
For
loves
people
pizza
who already aren't eating right.
Let's give him a pizza party in Monsters. Go for it.
An animal. Yeah, monsters. That'll do it justice. Half these motherfuckers are gonna die of cardiac arrest before a shift or during the lunch break of a shift. All these extra pounds I gained, the fucking mall food. The mall food.
The mall food did it to me. It was the mall food.
It was the mall food. But, watch this dude. This is their hero. This is the young left people's hero. He's the dude next to Piers Morgan with the glasses. Let's see what he has to say. This is real.
And you will understand, perhaps, what I'm trying to
That's
imply
very
here.
patronizing.
Utilizing the hostages. Yeah, I am being patronizing. I don't know who the you are, and you're over here chirping all the way from London about Palestine. Stepping time. Palestine. Stepping time. Palestine. Stepping time. Come on, ladies. Palestine. Stepping time. Palestine. Never need a reason, never need a rhyme, and stepping time. Palestine. Get your knees up. Get your knees up. Palestine. Palestine. Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. Get your knees up. Palestine.
So, warning before we go any further, this is a quartering video. However, everything he's about to show us is legit. And we don't have to hear him do his ad or do whatever, but what he's reporting about Hassan Piker, this is fucking hysterical. He has a meltdown on television, and this is who these lefties look up to.
Let's hear it.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and Piers Morgan is having a nice little career reboost by plucking YouTubers and bringing them on his show. Sometimes it's interesting people, smart people like Nerdrotic or Critical Drinker. Other times it's unhinged lunatics like Hassan Piker.
Well, right.
I legitimately have continually told my viewers that my position is I live in America. I'm worried about American problems or problems that affect Americans directly. Okay. I don't care about Israel's problems or Palestine's problems. They need to figure that out themselves. That might sound callous, it might sound cruel. That's just the truth. And I've always been honest on this channel. Try to be honest.
Okay, here we go.
Last night, baby meltdown. There are real conversations to be had around, this conflict.
And of course, they're
what's been
having the
going
argument
on, what is
about
going on. In particular, why am I
Palestine and
paying for
Israel.
both sides of it? But after that fact,
The eternal issue that won't go
the
away.
problem is everybody that represents these people and their plight is an unhinged baby lunatic acting on pure emotion. We've seen dozens of interviews with people who
That's
are
based.
on these
That's
mobs
based.
and college campuses and don't even know why they're there. They're just
Right.
like, oh yeah, free Palestine. Yeah, okay. What specifically?
Yeah, point to
"Oh, I
Palestine
don't
on a
know."
map.
that is the core of the a lot of these paid instigators, paid lunatics, and then they block the roads over here in the United States, and they don't understand why nobody wants to listen to them. You could do a lot better if you literally bothered to understand even the basic optics. So Hamas Piker goes on this show last night, calls everyone terrorists.
Calls him Hamas Piker.
Drops, can't stop swearing for like literally 2 seconds.
Yes.
He may have had a good point in here, but he looks
I love
like a
that energy,
total
though.
idiot. He looks like he's having a total meltdown. And it's like, I learned nothing other than I'm going to make this video laughing at you.
You're dancing around whether you think October the 7th was
Why
justified
are
or
we
not.
doing this? Why?
By the way, every pro-Palestine person will always try to minimize what happened on October 7th. Now, what I will obviously concede is there have been things undoubtedly that Israel has done.
Oh,
that are
Zach
also
Henry in the
very
building.
terrible too. Okay, but I do find it's, and then like if
Yeah,
there
the
are Israeli
protests are
supporters,
pissing me
they
off,
seem to
too.
always
Hello,
deny that
Zach
too.
Henry.
That's why I always default back to neither side is being honest. Neither side is telling the truth. So how
Right.
about we stop the invasion on the southern border in the United
Pause
States?
it
How about
right
we stop
there.
110,000
Pause it right there.
people dying a year?
You don't have to agree with the quartering's politics to agree with the statement he just said, right? When you have two factions going back and forth with each other and you are an outside party receiving information from biased media outlets on both sides of the political spectrum, you can count on one thing for sure. You're not getting the fucking truth. You're not getting anything resembling the
Never.
truth. You're getting special interest report remixes of
Propaganda.
that shit,
Let's
man.
just say it. Propaganda back and forth from both sides.
And here's the deal, my brother. If you were really concerned with what was going on in Palestine, right? If you were really concerned with that, then you would be opening your pockets to help the people who are actually impacted by this, not the government. I'm talking about the civilians, right? You need to stop protesting. Take $1 from the motherfucker standing to the left of you, and take $1 from the motherfucker standing to the right of you, and send it to the people who are actually impacted.
I've got a better idea. Maybe the person, instead of taking dollars from other people, can get a fucking job and then donate their own money to help these people they profess to love so damn much.
You didn't care about the state of Palestine before this conflict, right? And this is the thing that really bums
Right.
me out
They
about
couldn't-
this.
they didn't even think about
They didn't give a fuck about it, bro. But here's the thing, right? Everyone wants to jump on a social media outraged binge. We all want to seem so self-righteous from the comfort of our chairs. I dare you to actually go over there to get your hands dirty. The whole thing is hogwash, man. Everything is hogwash. I'm talking about my only concern are for the people who are actually hurt, who are the civilians. Governments be damned, my brother. You know my stance on this, man. Every government on the face of this earth is concerned with one thing: the preservation of that infrastructure, of
Their
that
whole
government.
scene. Yeah.
And it was a calculated. Never mind, man. I'm about to fucking.
No, you're killing it right now.
Because it blows my mind, man. I got into a conversation with a kid once about this whole situation, and he's talking to me about Middle Eastern relations amongst Middle Eastern countries. And it dawned on me exactly 3.3 seconds into the conversation. I'm like, you have no fucking idea what you're talking about, bro. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Half these kids in Colombia who are causing the ruckus do not know what the hell they're talking about.
Right. It's absolutely insane. Now, again, looking at the quartering, right? Everyone's going to serve their interests, right? Looking at the quartering himself, he's an America first and America only guy. I would like to see if he remains consistent in that stance. If America ever finds itself in a place where our enemies are at the gates, right?
We need help from someone else.
Exactly. And this is my problem with a lot of people firmly planted in that argument, right? There is a reason you set up alliances between a government, right? We have to make sure that we chip in with our allies and that our allies are chipping in with us. Don't pretend like you're America first. And then if we go to war again, don't pretend like the first thing out of your mouth isn't going to be, we're the Brits, we're the French. Why aren't they joining us in our cause? Right? Am I just too old to remember that America turned on France quick, fast, in a hurry and made the fucking Liberty fries? Right? Then we weren't America only. Right? Freedom fries. God damn it.
Here's where I do feel him. Yeah. When we write those checks to these countries.
Right.
Do they have to be in the billions?
No, they don't have.
Do I have to give them like $7 billion a year to the war effort in Ukraine? I'm like, yo, come on, calm down. Yo.
But this is why the general understanding of how your government works, local all the way up to federal, needs to be vastly improved amongst the American population.
Teeth? I'm missing some teeth. Why don't they donate? Why don't they put that $7 billion to American dental issues or the homeless or something? You feel me? You feel what I'm saying?
Bro, the coldest
That's what
line.
we're feeling.
The coldest line I heard recently was from Cat Williams when he was on Joe Rogan. And again, I'm not weighing in on this topic, but he was talking about one of the sanctuary cities, Chicago, and just the whole situation with the sanctuary cities. And he was like, y'all gonna do this right in front of the homeless people? Like y'all gonna fix this problem?
Did you see that dude confronting the police?
No, I didn't see it.
So they were filming the community center in this one city. I think it's either Chicago or it's Detroit. I can't tell them apart, but they're filming them with migrants, and a homeless guy is filmed confronting the cops who are protecting them, and he's like, yo, this is where I sleep at night. What the hell? And he's like, and they're like, this is for, and the police had the nerve to say to him, this is for people of this neighborhood, use. Yeah. And he's like, I've lived in this neighborhood my whole life. I've lived this for 40 years, yo. What the fuck? And he's like flipping out. However, that homeless man is not wrong.
No, man, he's not.
He's getting displaced.
Bro, show of hands if anyone in the chat right now has a family member who has served this country, because I'm about to smack you in the face with one of the coldest fucking things ever, man. Once again, mirroring our relationship and how we resemble the great fallen empire of Rome. America has the government, I'm talking about, not the American people, but some of you can be held to account in this, has no concern with its own fighting force after fighting, right?
Right.
Bro, I was walking to an AA meeting in Manhattan one day on the east side, 51st area, right? And you're from New York, so you know how affluent this area is. And I watched tons of Americans, which I would assume was a mix of conservative to liberal, considering where we were at. Not one of these motherfuckers stopped to give this vet any money. So I stopped and I had a conversation with the guy because I like talking to people, man. And I'm just like, I'm talking to him. This is back when I was working in the private sector of recovery, but I did work with vets when I worked in the nonprofit sector. So I'm asking him the same questions I would ask someone that showed up to treatment center who's proclaimed to be a vet, just qualifying questions. After my own curiosity was satiated, as it were, I simply said to him, like, hey, man, have you tried to go to the VA? I know how hard that is for housing placement. And he's like, he produces his voucher, man. He's like, yes, I'm on the waiting list for a bed, for a shelter. And he shows it to me. Bro, I shit you not. And this is not to toot my own horn or anything like that, man. I gave that man money because it is the very least that I could do for what he has done for this country. America's not concerned with that. We're concerned with TikTok and the potential of TikTok going away. But our fighting force
it drives me nuts that there's a waiting list for veterans to get housing in VA. That is ridiculous.
And to your point about billions of dollars being offshored, yes, this is how you fund Cold Wars. This is how you fund proxy wars. This is what happens when you join a world police, right? You never make a mistake that the UN is not, or NATO, none of them are actually concerned with the well-being of Ukrainians, right? What they're actually concerned with is the strategical placement of Ukraine right next to the borders of one of our greatest enemies. We don't want to put weapons in there to help them win the war. We want to put weapons in there to keep Putin in check. And I would challenge the world governments to be honest about this. Like, hey, I don't know if you noticed this, but this motherfucker's kind of scary. And we want to keep as many weapons on his border just to make sure we keep him honest. Just keep it a buck. Just keep it a whole bean, man. But don't fucking have Joe Biden come up and then fucking tell me that the reason we're sending this money over is for these people. They're not going to get that money, just like none of you motherfuckers who donated to Black Lives Matter are going to see any of those millions of dollars go to black people.
Right.
Not
and you know, this money we're paying to Ukraine, where is it going? Is it a smart use? What's going on? What's the deal? Why isn't Europe? Why isn't Western Europe paying for their war? It's on their backyard. They're going to get affected the most out of it. So why the hell are we paying for it? But I digress.
Yes,
I could go on and on.
What up, Cold Wendy's?
Here from fentanyl overdoses. How about we stop the homelessness problem, or at least try to do something a little bit better about it? How about we? I mean, there's innumerable. How about we save the inner cities? Look at what's going on in Chicago. 50 people a weekend getting lead injections. Nope, don't worry about that. Just keep voting Democrat. But these people want me to care about their geopolitical issues. Well, this guy, Hamas Piker, is worth $20 million, and he just says the F word a lot and wants you to think he's smart. Well, the fact of the matter is any normal person can look at either Hamas Piker here or this under individual here who's pro-Israel and understand that they are both on the show to push an agenda, but only one of them looks like a lunatic.
Yeah, can I get a pause real quick?
Yeah.
We got a caller calling in. We got our first caller on
hell yeah.
on Fanboy. Yo, Manny, can you hear us?
Yeah.
What up?
We got Manny calling in. He wants to share some opinions on the conversation tonight. Go ahead, Manny, kick it.
Opinions? I ain't got none, bro. I just want to talk.
Epic first caller, by the way. Manny, how you been, bro?
Just chilling, bro.
I love that.
Now, Manny, you are of this generation. You taught me about the word based. I thought you were talking using some gamer tag. I'm like, based? What is based? We're going to the based? How is the based? Just
Man, Steve.
Just really quickly, Manny. You are, if you don't mind me divulging this to the audience, you are a man of Latino descent, right? What are your thoughts on the overall conversation in regards to migrants, money being offshored to other places? What are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, that's some fucking bullshit. I ain't gonna lie. When we have like what Roy brought up, my boy Mantis over here talking about he ain't wrecked. Why you lying, dude? Why you lying?
I was lying. This is a family show. You know, some people have their children here up at 11 p.m. So.
Nah, but for real though, a fucking waiting list for veterans to get homes. The fuck is that?
Yes.
That's crazy. When we spend all this money on all sorts of crazy shit.
Yes, and let me blow your mind.
We're prioritizing people that don't even want to go through legal channels.
And Manny, let me throw something else out at you right now, man. So I don't know if anyone's ever been to the VA before to try to help so there are two categories, right? And one of the categories, I can see there being a very difficult path to getting what you are owed for fighting for this country. So there's honorable discharge and other than honorable, and then so it's three categories and a dishonorable discharge, right? Often I would help honorable discharges fight tooth and nail just to get money to pay for their bed and treatment and scholastic training. Other than honorable, we would fight a little bit harder. It strikes me as odd that if you would even pick up a gun for this country, that you have to fight at all to get what's owed to you, man.
Right.
Blows my mind.
To some dude who isn't even gonna pay taxes.
That's all your boy Steve is saying. That's all your brother Deacon is saying, man, is that there is one thing that we need to be concerned as citizens, right? The protection and rights of citizens in America, man. And then once we get that problem fixed, let's start working on these other problems. You cannot look me in the eye and say, well, you know, the Flint thing, we thought the drinking water would get better on its own, but we're going to send $1 billion.
It's crazy. Like the fact that like you assume this is America. This is like, you know, we're top tier in terms of living standards. And someone's like, yeah, it's a shitty city, but yeah, there's lead in the water.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they say it so casually.
Yeah.
And like, where are we going to get money to fix it? I don't know. The federal fucking government. What do I pay taxes for?
Where's it all going? And in fact, here's the next thing, man. And before we let my good brother Manny go, I got another one that's going to make you stew in your bottle right now, Manny. You know how we all here, most of us, I'd say 99.9% of us all work jobs where you have a portion of your check taken out for something that's called unemployment, right? This is where my frustration lies with certain conservative pundits. When they start talking about unemployment in America, they talk about it as if you aren't owed that money. But God damn it, I paid into the system. Remember this thing called Social Security? The reason it's called Social Security, let's just reverse it for a second, is so you have security in this social microcosm. After working for decades, you are taken care of by the very money you poured into the system. Yet we have states like California that allow people to cash in on Social Security benefits who haven't even paid into the system yet. Does that make sense to you?
That doesn't make any sense.
Right?
No, yeah, that is bullshit.
See, there you go, Manny. You are our first caller for Fanboy Modeling School over here on Fight Juice, man. Keep fighting a good fight, man. And remember, Manny, above all else, always remain
hell yeah, man,
non-liable. We'll catch up with you, brother.
Catch you, man.
America, fuck yeah.
All right. You want to play some more Hassan, or do we want to talk?
I want to see these curses.
I'm sick and tired of repeating it over and over again.
Can you hear him?
Yeah.
Of course. Again, Piers asked, hey, like, hey, you know, will you condemn basically what happened on this day? And these pro-Palestine people never can and never will. You had Susan Sarandon famously walking around yesterday being like, oh yeah, none of that actually happened. That's all just a hoax, all this, whatever.
It seems like you're dancing around.
I apologize for some of the language. I can't help he's low IQ.
Whether you think October the
Piers,
7th was justified
why are we
or not.
doing this? Why are we doing this back and forth masturbation? I've already given you my fucking
Piers, why are you
position.
doing this?
I'm
He's
sick and
happy.
tired
It's
of
Jews
repeating it
being
over and over
killed.
again.
Okay,
Because
I
it's
just
Jews, it's okay.
Ask this
Emily,
demon
stop
next to
talking.
me
Group, it's
wearing
Emily,
a fucking
come back
IDF
to you.
dog
Only
tag.
when it's Jews, it's okay.
Please
We're
stop
not
This
shouting
fucking
at each
demon next
other.
to me wearing an IDF dog tag, if she actually thinks Israel's actions are
bring
justifiable.
them home.
Do you
It's
see
to bring
me
the
rocking the
hostages
fucking
home. The hostages
All right,
that you
you're talking
rightly
over each
believe
other.
belong
Doesn't
in
matter.
the
You know what
tunnels
it
of
is.
Gaza.
I'm going to give you
why
two.
it looks
I'm going to
that
let
way.
you two
That
come.
So first is an Israel dog take. Oh wait,
Yeah,
actually,
he's
it's just
cursing
a-
out
no, it
people.
actually
He's
looks like a
flipping
dog
out.
take.
He's-
Oh, wait, it's
As he
a
should.
square.
As he
He's
should.
as he's a
I cannot
uncivilized
hear
prick.
when you talk
And
over each other.
I'm gonna tell you,
Every
even if I
time
was on a
recently I
pundit
had
show,
someone from both
I'd be
sides on,
respectful.
like it goes like this.
I'm wearing this
I'd
rusty
school them in
necklace.
my
Please,
knowledge
can you
and
listen to me,
understanding of
Emily?
the world.
Aliens in Gaza right now.
Can you
Yo,
stop doing this
look
to
at the
each
one
other?
black woman in the
Emily,
middle. She's just like,
nobody
why?
can understand a word either of you
She's
saying.
embarrassed
Let
to
me
be on
come
this
to
panel.
Esther and James here. This is one of my problems.
No, I want to
actually.
hear if Emily condemns
No,
the
no,
actions of
Hassan,
Israel.
you
Why
will
don't you ask
please
her
let me
about that?
moderate the
Why
debate.
don't you ask her about
I don't condemn
30,000
the idea.
people
I've got
killed?
two
I
panelists
condemn the
here who've not
fact
had a
that on
word
October
yet.
Exactly,
7th,
because you're a
they
fucking
So he calls her a Terry. I'm not sure what. So this woman here is a Terry, but the people that flew in on paragliders and did the terrible things they did to people at a music festival are freedom fighters, right? According to Hamas Piker. Again, both sides are liars. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think I know that this is good TV for Piers, bringing unhinged lunatics on his show. But what's also funny is Asmongold brings up he channels probably the point we all do, and then the left has a
Are you an
absolute
Asmongold fan?
meltdown about it.
I don't even know
What
who that
gives
is.
you the
Oh, this
unique
guy.
moral
Yes, yes.
authority to break the law because of what you believe in? What gives you the right to do that? Well, you don't have that right.
He's talking about not just people who are protesting. He's talking about people who are blocking roads and doing all this other kind of stuff.
Right. What
So
gives them the
don't
right
be
to?
surprised whenever people get you out of the fucking road and arrest you.
All right. So here, I want to
It's-
respond to that right there, man, because again, let's just be consistent, right? And I'm just saying, let's be consistent. I'll leave the thought problem for you guys because it's like when you take a stance like that, then I got to take you back. Did the founding fathers have a right to subvert the law and rule of England?
No.
Right. So you understand that there are consequences for breaking the law, right? So if someone, if you get forcibly removed from the streets, thank you for being a freedom fighter, but you know you are breaking the law of the land. I just don't like when people go to this place where they will, on one hand, criticize protesters who are breaking the law, as annoying as those motherfuckers can be, but then laud the founding fathers as if they weren't breaking the law and everything that led up to the revolution.
Well, this was my whole thing about explaining like the rise of Donald Trump. And so basically what it is that our founders were criminals. Oh, I said it, right? But people look up to those criminals.
Yeah,
Look up to
yeah.
them. They're like, they're taking over the English government. What bad boys? And they love that. And
Right.
so we have a history in America of loving criminals,
Yeah.
loving these kind of guys who are, they have financial crime, so it's not that
Yeah.
bad.
Right.
And so Donald Trump is one of them. And so, you know, we're just like fucking into that whole scene or whatever.
Yeah, we have a fascination with it. We have
Right.
a deep fascination with it. This is the part where I'm just going to speak my mind and not play neutral thought party. Like Hassan Piker, his credibility in this argument is less than questionable. In fact, all you have to do is a quick Google search to see why he has the leanings that he has, right? In regards to this topic. It's really easy to say that two things can be right at the same time. The loss of civilian life because of political grandstanding or overtly religious beliefs is horrible. Now, both sides are guilty of that. Now, it comes down to you as the audience to weigh out which side is more guilty. And I know that's something that no one likes to do, Mantis, but we got to do a body count tally. Whenever I find myself in an argument with someone that says they're of the atheistic variety and they say Christianity is responsible for the most deaths in the world, I immediately ask them, how many deaths were committed in the name of socialism? And if we tally that with atheistic governments, how many deaths then? And still calculating. We got to ask ourselves, man, who has more blood on their hands in this situation? Who has more blood on their hands in this situation? I'm not asking you to answer, right? You got a lot to lose. Who has more blood on their hands in this situation? I leave it there. Your boy Steve just wants you to think about what you're doing before you start getting on social media grandstanding. And then as we play this clip with Hassan, it's like, yo, deal with the bullshit in your own backyard, motherfucker, right? How much money have you sent over to Palestine for the children that are starving?
Particularly before this crisis started. Like he was probably not, was not even on his radar or any of these people's radar. Now, I'm not saying like it's not wrong to like discover something and be like, well, let me help or whatever.
Right.
But I do notice that like nobody cared about the starving children of Palestine, which there always have been. There have been.
Yeah.
I'm going to admit it. Before Israel started trying to, ethnically cleanse Gaza, which I'm going to say it.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
That's what it is, bro.
We probably just got demonetized or something.
We were never monetized. Yo,
oh.
D.
Okay, good thing. Good,
Yo,
good.
D. So we got a bunch of free Palestines in the chat, and D responds, "Free Palestine from Hamas." Now that's a part of the conversation that people have a hard time having, right, man?
Right.
It's like, how many times are we going to fall for the same playbook? Hamas committed the act. Hamas hid in a place where they knew there would be heavy civilian casualties, and the response but the conversation isn't about Hamas anymore. It only becomes about the civilian loss. And this is the game of subterfuge when it comes to terroristic groups, right? They're not concerned with loss, right? And then let's not forget, Iran just shot off the most expensive fireworks show ever for tactically sound missiles to be shot down.
It makes them look like fools, man. I don't get that. I really don't get that. You are a powerful Iran. Why are you?
Yeah, we gave you
bitching?
billions to be able to do better than that.
Yeah. Pathetic ass. They're scared of a fight with like Israel, who's like the size of like a cat stick.
I don't know, man.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the cat stick reference. That was.
Oh my goodness. Hit it.
Are we
It's
gonna?
narcissistic. And
All right, let's jump off.
Let's go over. We've talked this shit to death. Let's talk about this DJ Academics thing that's hovering over all of our heads. This
Go ahead.
Actually, I shouldn't finish it because I'm a little angry.
DJ Academics, formerly of Everyday Struggle with Joe Budden, has long been in the conversation of one of the greatest independent, and I have to say that with some bass in my voice, hip-hop commentary media figures that's ever existed, right? When he was on Everyday Struggle with Joe Budden, a lot of people would tune into the show to watch Joe Budden, quote unquote, cook DJ Academics. Well, recently, this weekend, as it were, DJ Academics has surpassed Joe Budden as the #1 hip-hop media personality, and in fact enjoyed at one point on his stream Saturday 100,000 live concurrent viewers in his stream as he sat on his new throne. And to make it even worse or even better, shout out to DJ Academics, this motherfucker is already rich, got a very lucrative deal from Rumble to stream on Rumble. He is absolutely killing it. Now we're going to talk about your boy Adam22 referring to himself.
Your boy, you mean your boy? If I never have to mention Adam22 the rest of my life, I will be a happy man.
Adam22 has inserted himself into the chat by saying that Joe Budden's not a part of the conversation for the big 3 hip-hop media outlets. He said it's Academics, DJ Vlad, and himself, which is erroneous.
No.
But go ahead and play this, man. This clip is of some brothers. Shout out to these guys right here.
Before we get into it, I have to say that like I think we said off camera, I don't love that this happened. However, it's not surprising. This was a steady flow. It wasn't overnight. People were always referencing him, and I was like, okay, people were listening to this idiot.
Yeah.
I don't think he's the worst thing in the world, but he's not the best. This is an example of mediocrity falling up.
Right? You know what? Also, go ahead. You're cooking.
But you see that all the time, actually.
Yeah.
And I like Joe Rogan. I respect Joe Rogan. There's nothing special about Joe Rogan. Somehow he's the best.
You know why? Because he's the everyday relatable guy, and I believe that Academics benefits from that. But also, Academics is a big fuck you to the media conglomerate. He didn't fucking make his way through radio. He didn't pay one due to any of these people at Hot 97, fucking
that makes me mad.
Breakfast Club. He did it. He literally did it on his own, and he jumped
right
on
now sucking radio dick right now. This motherfucker didn't pay one due.
He didn't have to, proving the point that sometimes you just got to do your own thing and not worry about it, man. DJ Academics he can be canceled for any number of things at any given point, man. And also, let's make sure that DJ Academics was also threatened with physical rape by one Saucy Santana, right? And there was no public outcry in regards to that.
And for the record, I meant metaphoric dick. I'm not really sucking dick. Okay. Continue. Metaphoric.
No Diddy.
Yeah. This isn't a Diddy situation. Anyway, let's play the clip.
Applause for hip hop. Hip hop is back.
Hip hop is back.
Hip hop is back. Rose from the dead.
hip-hop. And listen. While people may not want, there was a changing of the guards in hip hop yesterday. If the normal hip hop mediums were the radio stations and the Funkmaster Flex and the all.
Oh wait. However, DJ Academics comes from that world, doesn't he?
No, he's not. He was never a radio personality. He had the show on Everyday Struggle on Complex with Joe Budden, but he's never been a radio personality.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought he was.
He's been on the Breakfast
DJ
Club.
Academics is now the guy. He was getting sent the records.
Yeah.
From Drake, from Ross. I was just like, oh, this is, and he said that at one point over Saturday, he had over 100,000 people in his live.
That's crazy.
That's hip hop. That's wild. Okay, so
that's like network TV
hip-hop,
numbers.
that's
I don't think people
fake.
understand.
No, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think
when
people
Shannon
understand
Sharp
that.
and Ocho be on,
Yeah.
they don't be having numbers like that.
Yeah,
So
those are network TV
hip hop
numbers.
is
guys.
in a great space.
That's where it
so-
ends.
Yeah, it ends. So in response to that, man, it is media numbers, right? It is media numbers. Hold on for a second. We got another caller for Fanboy.
I love it. Callers are great.
Hello, you're calling in live with Fanboy Modeling School and Fight Juice. How can we help you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hello, Deacon.
Hey, Nicky boy, what's going on?
Oh, it's Nick. What up, Nick?
What's on, Joey?
We got the whole squadron in here. Nick, you got thoughts on the topics we're talking about? I think you said you wanted to tap in with the whole TikTok situation, man.
Yeah, so I was going to tap in with the TikTok situation. So, I've got, when you scroll through that, there's a lot of minors and all that. That's the one thing that I do understand that, TikTok needs to be banned for that. It's creepy. It's weird. You got 50, 40-year-old men like tuning in to like 15-year-old bitches kicking their ass and shit.
No, I absolutely agree. There needs to be some sort of separation because these little hoes are up in my face.
Oh, without a doubt. I got a 13-year-old brother, and just like I think about that shit, I'd be like, whoa, like he's the big TV porn.
No, so wait, I don't know if you know this, man. This Nicky boy here himself has gone viral on the TikToks and the Snapchats with one of the most classic videos I've ever seen, man. Nick, do you still have that clip? We can play it before the show.
Sleeping in a box?
Of course I do. Of course, actually, I think Manny can pull that up, man.
So Nick has a late night chilling with Nick type of vibe going on, where he basically is making himself some reggaeton. It drops a bottle, man. We'll play it before it's over. Nick, real quick, why I got you here, man. Let's talk about something, right? You're someone. I remember our first encounter. You were playing some very aggressive hip hop music, and I was like, Nick, turn this shit off, man. This shoot 'em up, kill 'em, die, quick shit. You play it. It's very violent and it's very scary. When you hear the name DJ Academics and hearing him being hoisted as the #1 media personality in hip hop in the hip hop media space, what are your thoughts as a young consumer of hip hop?
So, I think the music is very out there and shit like that. You got the bitches rapping about shaking their ass and fucking, their pussy and shit like that.
Yeah, the female rap's all fucked up right now.
Oh yeah, we fucked up. Then we got the guys out here like fucking rapping about I'm blood crib, fucking shooting fucking pussy, all this shit. Hey Vic, you want to chime in on this? I just comment on the rap now.
It's for black people.
Oh.
Well said. Well said.
Whoa! So I would like to respond to that statement right there. I would argue that this music isn't for black people. In fact, when you look at the demographics that are
It's for Jews.
when you look at the demographics of people who consume it, they are of a lighter hue. some might say.
White women love rap, and they love the truth is they love getting dicked down by a rapper. You know, and here's what I'm saying: the man's system being perverted right now. These are facts.
Yo,
These are facts.
It's 100% facts. So you know who shows up to most drill rappers streams? It's white kids in the suburbs, man. Y'all love that shit.
I got a thing on that. Driver boy, his name is Rob, and he thinks he's gonna be the next drill rapper. He be fucking putting on drill beats and shit. He's bringing them to Newark, New York, Newark, New Jersey. I mean,
listen,
you would be thinking like he's the next one.
Have him call in. We would love to have him perform a show.
Yeah, here's another
Not
one.
show or track.
Here's another pow, man. Here's another pow. You know how I know this music is no longer for black people? Peep this, right?
Eminem.
Slow your roll, motherfucker. You know how I know it's no longer for black people? It's the fact that poor little innocent white children now don't even quote unquote to pretend to be black. Now they're so free in their drill experience, it's moving into places like Rockland County. Nick, you know I've had some encounters in Rockland County where I'm like, if you don't pull your fucking pants up and get the fuck out of here right now, talking about you a blood man.
And here's what I'm saying. I love Eminem, don't get me wrong. However, he is the gateway for people who, how do I say this, are not, you know. and so
okay,
and so you're talking to somebody and they're like, I'm a librarian, I don't drink, I'm very square, but I listen to Eminem.
See, once again, I got to disagree with you. And Nick, while I got you on the line, Nick is a strong young Italian. I believe his family hails from
Nick
Sicily.
is a little thug. We all know that.
I believe his family hails from Sicily. I'm 42 years old, man. Did you know I've been beefing with guys that wear velour suits and say, the gabagool for years? But I'm gonna keep it a bead. This one's a pow for Nick's little brother, right? Your Italians been wilding out way before there was rap music coming into their communities. Those motherfuckers were thugging out to Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra.
That's true.
Italians,
I guess he was the original rapper.
Italians invented the drive-by. Did you know that?
Because Frank Sinatra got his record deal at gunpoint, actually.
Exactly.
Funny you say that. I was driving my grandfather's car for the last few weeks. My car's been in the shop. And every single time I get in the car, Frank Sinatra starts playing.
There we go.
See? And Nick's family's from Bensonhurst. You know what I'm saying? One last thing before we let Nick go. Have I ever told you how me and Nick bonded? Right? This is a bonding moment where I was like, man, I like this kid a lot, man. Nick had a situation with some wannabe thugs from around the way, right? And, they tried to press him. Nick stood his ground, as he should. As he should, stood his ground, right? So me and Nick used to know each other in a professional capacity. One day they came down into the store, and again, Nick stood his ground. So I went over to one of the little ruffians, and I'm like, yo, if you don't get the fuck out of here right now, I promise you, I'm going to call the police on you. And after I called I went full old school conservative. I'm like, you think I'm going to beat your little ass there? No, I'm filing a report. And then I'm going to make sure your parents know. And then I'm going to put your picture up on Facebook in Rockland County to let them know that you're out here drinking lean, walking around the mall, trying to attack.
Yo, I miss the olden days when security guards used to take people in the back and just beat their ass and then throw them out in the alley.
Yeah, Nick, it was good talking to you, man. And remember,
Nick, good to hear from you, brother.
Never forget, Nick. Always know where the gabagool is.
Always remember one thing before we go, Deke. I sent you the video on iMessage on my viral TikTok.
Oh, you sent it? Where'd you send it to me? Instagram?
This shit.
No, I sent it on your iMessage.
All right, I'll put it in there right now, man. We'll catch up with you, brother. Thank you for calling in.
Got you. And also, never forget the double trouble over at Geek Squad.
The double trouble. And with that, folks. All right. So let me just jump back on the academics thing real quick, because D said something a little whiles ago up. Now I got to black out, right, man? Academics, no one can ever take away from the fact that he worked his way to the position where he's at now. But we're talking about hip hop here, my guy. We're talking about hip hop here, Mantis, where the weakest motherfucker cannot be in control. We would all agree that those are the rules laid out by any rapper that isn't a conscious rapper, right? No one ever would disagree with the fact that you cannot be a weak motherfucker. And I'm not accusing him of this, but we're going to let the court of public opinion. D pointed out, why is this motherfucker, why does his girlfriend, his consort, his concubine get away with shaming this motherfucker? Every chance. Release pictures of this nigga's stomach with fucking pimples on it, right? Release pictures of his flaccid, his flaccid phallus on the internet. Calls other rappers, social media.
Someone released pictures of his flaccid cock?
Yeah, man, his fucking
Why would
concubine.
you take a picture of a flaccid cock?
His concubine did it. Here's the next thing. When he got that lucrative deal with Rumble, do you know what this bitch did? She fucking deleted his account on Rumble.
All the same hoe?
One woman. One woman. Now, does that fit the vein of hip hop? Does that fit the vein of being?
This is totally hip hop because
I would agree.
That's exactly what bitches do. 1 minute you're like, yeah, I'm having a good time. We're living the dream. Next thing you know, she's deleting your account. She's spending money on your credit card. She's cursing out your mother. That's total hip hop. If anything, he's gaining credit for having a hoe in his life, except for the flaccid cock. That's weird.
So here it is, man. Here academic sits
The
upon
only time it's appropriate to take a picture of a cock is when it's erect and you're trying to get your woman in the mood.
Well, you're talking about your own, right? Not some
My own,
random.
right.
Not
I
some
promise
random.
you, there's no pictures of my flaccid cock anywhere, but there are several of my erect out there. Ladies, good luck looking for that.
And if you go over to Twitch right
Good
now
luck,
and you
treasure
donate,
hunters.
Yo, okay. So here, let's get into the last portion of the academics thing, man. I pulled up the Complex list according to them earlier this month who the top media personalities are, and I was gonna read the top 10, but let's just say that Charlemagne the God is in there, Joe Budden is in there, DJ Sway, not Sway, but Sway is in the top 20s. You have guys like Noriega that are in the list, and they had academics number 2 to Joe Budden, but the numbers and the influence seem to suggest different now. So now let's get into Adam 22 desperately clinging. And first off, again, shout out to academics for doing what he did. Now let's get to this motherfucker, this nigga fucking Adam 22 desperately trying to insert himself into the conversation, man. Why won't he go away?
It's not. Here's what it is. This is common amongst the scene. What it is people who have made it, they're obsessed with their clout. When clout is going some other way, they try to find a way to insert themselves on that algorithm. Right? And so he's like, no one's talking about me. I better try to find a redirect. Right? And so when he says, I'm the top, Adam says, I'm the top hip hop, content creator, that was not only months ago, but that was figurative. They weren't calculating real numbers.
No, I would dare say that No Jumper, after all the affluent employees left,
You mean
AD,
drama? Drama!
No one goes to No Jumper to hear anything about hip hop. They go to hear about drama and bullshit.
We want to hear about hookers and prostitutes and weird shit. We even tuned in the other day to be like, is this motherfucker really gay? He once was a hip hop dude.
Yeah, once
right
upon a
now
time.
he's just drama and shenanigans.
Once upon a time. I view we beat the academic shit to death. I know we got to talk about X-Men 97. Did you want to play Nick's viral video? I just sent it to you in Discord. Yeah, I sent it to you in Discord.
So guys, this went viral. Prepare thyself. Wait, how do I? You know what?
Ooh, Manny said, kids listen to drill. I listen to Cool Keith. We are not the same. Hey, that's a hard shot, Manny. That's a hard shot. While Mantis is queuing that up, right? I noticed that there are 11 of us in here, possibly even more. If you haven't hit the like button, please do that now. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, help us to get paid, right? Nothing says success for you like success for me. And the sooner we get Fight Juice Online monetized, the sooner we could really crash out on here, because it's not worth becoming popular if I can't lose it all by saying one dumb thing. Oh, here we go.
Rigatoni. Of course, can't forget about the Don.
Word. Oh, what? Nick! Nick! Oh, it ends there? Nick! What the fuck? What did I just fucking play, bro? What did you do to me? You know, why don't you just kill my baby?
Yo, Nick,
right
I'm gonna need you to remove your name from your handle on TikTok, man. I'm gonna need you to remove your government from TikTok, bro.
Yo, Nick, what the fuck, bro?
Play that shit again, man. Play that shit again.
How do I do that?
Dude.
Is it playing?
It's not playing. It's all right.
Well, fuck this shit. Anyway, it's time for us to leave anyway, but you had one last thought, didn't you?
Yeah, last thought, really quickly, man. Deadpool, Wolverine, latest trailer drop. Looks amazing, man. All the best speculation I've heard is that this is an offshoot of the X-Men 97 universe. It's an offshoot of this. It's an offshoot of that. Here's what I'm expecting walking into the theater to see this movie. I'm expecting to see Deadpool shenanigans mixed with a little Wolverine fun, right? It looks like we're going to have a good time watching this movie. We got Cassandra Nova living in the dead, hollowed out corpse of Giant Man, right? Paul Rudd's Ant-Man. We got what might be a sad Wolverine from another universe, and it just looks like it's going to be a good time. One hit will not make the resurgence of the MCU, but if I can theory craft for a second on how I would play this whole thing, right? If the MCU is interested in retaining us as fans and interested in capitalizing off success, I know that's a strange idea given their state, they would adapt the X-Men 97 universe into a live action X-Men movie, because those are the X-Men we want to see represented in live action. Period, point blank.
So, I'm going to give a soft rejection of that.
Pause.
And no, soft? You don't put a soft cock in anywhere, so soft rejection is as not pause as it gets. Here's what I'm saying. I hear what you're saying. We want to see these guys. However, I don't want it to be the same universe as the cartoons, because that means we're done with the cartoons, right?
No, it doesn't necessarily mean we have to be done with the cartoon. Oh, you're saying when they go through Battle World and make it all one,
So here's what, I don't mind that they look or feel the same way, but I don't want them to disrupt the cartoon in the name of the live action and be like, okay, these guys are busy. I don't care if it's doppelgangers who are just like them, quote unquote.
Shaolin says they just need to get rid of the Fox bullshit so we can finally get something new. I think that what we should get, I agree with that, Shaolin. I think what we should get in this multiverse impact, wherever it's going, is we definitely want to see a cool version of the X-Men represented. And again, I just want to give a shout out to the work they're doing over on X-Men 97. This last episode was the best filler episode ever, and we finally got to see Rogue. We finally got to see Rogue in full Rogue power.
Filler, that's really good. It is a filler episode, but it's good. And
It was absolutely amazing, man. And we had Thunderbolt Ross in the episode. We had Captain America.
Oh my
it was perfect, man. It was perfectly done.
Where I think they went wrong?
What is that?
And this is a spoiler for anyone who isn't caught up. Well, you should be caught up, so fuck you. The fact that the secret villain is Bastion, and Bastion is not a loved villain. People do not love this dude. He's not obscure, but he's not great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but actually,
That
there's
was garbage.
So yeah, I'm not a big bashing fan, but there are some people who are calculating that, or I'm sorry, hypothesizing that in actuality, the big bad is going to be finally an accurate representation. The only accurate representation we've ever had of this character is the return of Apocalypse.
Yeah, I would think so. I want to see that. I want that to be a thing.
The
But
only
when they revealed that they're like the person Sinister is working with is Bastion, I was like, oh come on.
Bro, listen, I want to see Apocalypse represented well so badly, man. I just want you to know, in the comics, there's only been one character to my recollection that has ever bodied not one, not two, but 3 Nimrods at the same time. And you know who that was? It was the Alpha and the Omega himself. He was later killed by the next 14 Nimrods that attacked him. But Apocalypse, man, it's about time we get an accurate representation. We got comics accurate Scott Summers. Also, for you and Shaolin, a lot of people are assuming that we are now watching the dissension of Scott Summers and watching him become Naughty Boy Scott.
I want to see him go down the dark trail. Here's what it is. I don't love his costume, his X visor costume.
Right.
However, I do like his attitude during there.
Yes.
And I do love that he's my favorite. Did you read X-Men versus Avengers?
Yes, of course.
I love where he basically tells Captain America to go fuck himself.
Absolutely.
Where he's like, we want to capture whoever the next Phoenix is. Is that a little girl? Okay, we're gonna put her in this device. We're gonna do all this other things. And he's just like, well, fuck you, dude. To paraphrase, he didn't really say that, but like he's basically a fuck you, dude.
Yeah,
it's about my people, not about your bullshit.
Yeah,
I love that.
Scott Summers is the perfect in that story arc is the perfect quantification of what happens to a good student turned zealot.
Right.
He is a man who has lived under the vision of one of the most peaceful characters in Marvel history, like so many people in the real world, and to watch the failure of your hero constantly, and then to see the just the complete idiocy of his worldview according to you. I love watching him lose faith and then taking. You know how far Scott Summers went, man. Yeah. He fucking created the new X-Force as a hit team to protect mutant interests. Pulled Wolverine to the side and said,
because he was
gloves off.
half-assing it, basically. He wasn't sure. He was like, we still want to be good, but like he's like, here, you guys do what we can't do. Eventually, he decided. Eventually, he was like, you know what? I'll fucking do it. Fuck these human pieces of shit. And I feel him. Oh my god, so great. There's so much to say.
So much good stuff going on there. And then lastly, to close the show out, and this is where we're definitely going to close it out, but I want to see Mantis's face on this. Mantis, did you know recently Andrew Tate, your stepson, is back in the news for making another outlandish claim? Andrew Tate, and I quote,
he doesn't want paternity, does he?
No, Andrew Tate, and I quote, says that it's gay if you enjoy sex with a woman. Sex is for making babies. If you're out,
guys, we at Fanboy Modeling School told you years ago that this motherfucker was a grift. And if you haven't gotten it yet, well, then I don't know what to fucking tell you. You probably don't even know where your dick is, right? Because.
That's right.
Say the line again. Say the line again.
He said it's gay to want to enjoy sex with women. Sex is for making babies. Offspring.
So he's made babies with all these cam girls he's forced into slavery?
Allegedly.
I want to see all these cam babies.
Apparently,
I want to see the cam babies.
Allegedly, he's got like four or five kids, man, and they're always
I
like.
know. He's doing the same thing Elon Musk and Caesar and a bunch of other lunatics do. So it's so funny. I was actually arguing this with my sister the other day. She thought that it was a conservative trait for men to lead their seed in different women across the board. And then I said, what are you talking about? She cited Andrew Tate, Elon Musk, and a few others. And I said, no, that's an abnormal, weird shit. I don't I don't want mad kids. Like I want some 18-year-old coming over here and be like, "Daddy, money." Fuck you. Get a job. No, I want to conserve what children I have. It's only these rich guys who are like, you know what? I'm gonna impregnate the maid. I'm gonna impregnate the CEO. I'm gonna impregnate my Uber driver. Good work, Elon Musk. Get us to fucking Mars and stop fucking things. Okay, bro?
Another episode of Fanboy Balling School in the bag, folks. Make sure you tune in to Riz Radio. Download it on Live 365 or enjoy it across any radio platform app. And also, just a little bit of side news here, man. If you're looking for Fanboy and you're wondering why you can't find it on Google Podcasts, it's because that's not a thing anymore. So only look for Fanboy episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, places that actually accept podcasts.
We're there because we love you. This is the Fat Mantis.
This is Steve. Peace.
I was going to say something clever. Fucked it up. Okay, peace, y'all.